Today's news. Azerbaijan's statehood is on the street of corruption. Alternative National Preventive Mechanism coalition brings up new requirements. Vasif Talibov is worse than Gaddafi, says the residents of the village of Nehram. Drama of Fizuli Street residents continues in the neighboring blocks. The anti-fight corruption in Azerbaijan is just an imitation. Its scale is becoming a danger for the state. That was the main opinion voiced in the round table arranged by Public Chamber today. The head of Defense Committee to Protect Oilmen's Rights, Mirvari Kahramanlı, said that the roundtable aims to discuss the risk and threat posed by the corruption and combine the civil society's efforts in fight against it. Corruption is the most serious problem in the country, Kahramanlı noted. Economic Innovation Center head Mohammed Talibli said that the corruption has different sources. These are funds of state budget, past misappropriation of the funds of state oil fund, and unfunded transfers to state budget, high costs of law enforcement agencies, and so on. Talibli also cited 300 million as in allocated for flood recovery. Musavat Party leader Rıza Gambar noted that the corruption scale has become dangerous for the state. The high level of corruption stems from the regime which tries to use the country's resources without control. Along with misappropriation of the state funds, bribery also remains as a source for corruption. It is not possible to do any business, be it small or large, without bribing, he said. Azerbaijan Popular Front Party Deputy Chairman Nurattin Mammadli noted that the corruption is associated with the essence of the regime and it can only be overcome by changing the ruling establishment.
Today, the Alternative National Preventive Mechanism Coalition held a roundtable discussion at Arifes Press Center. The coalition was founded in August 2010. The coalition includes the Azerbaijan Anti-Torture Committee, Equal Opportunity Center, Defense and Service Center for Torture Victims, Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety, Human Rights Club, and Human Rights Education Society. Coalition member Elchin Abdullayev said that the roundtable aims to discuss the operation of Ombudsman's office as a national preventive mechanism and inform society about the need for public supervision on this mechanism. Abdullayev says that the national preventive mechanism should operate independently. We have appealed to Ilham Aliyev, President, in this regard. We'll go to the foreign embassies in the near future as well, he said. Another coalition member, Elchin Behbudov, said that Azerbaijan has joined the UN Anti-Torture Convention. Then an additional protocol was adopted to enforce the convention, which was signed by Azerbaijan as well. In accordance with the protocol, the President entitled the Ombudsman's office to create a national preventive mechanism. However, the lack of independent NGOs involved in this process and the management of this issue by the Ombudsman's office alone leads to lack of transparency and also a one-sided approach to issues, Behbudov added. Lawyer Urada Javadova deemed the non-representation of NGOs in national preventive mechanism as a negative point. Two residents of the village of Nehram in Babek region of Nakhchivan deported from the village told about the situation in the village at a news conference. Previously, there lived 13,000 people in this large village of Nakhchivan. Now the village has been emptied due to the outflow of the population for various reasons. One of the villagers, Rizegul Hassanov, said that living conditions in the village are catastrophic. They have serious problems with electricity and drinking water. The local stadium and park have been destroyed. All tea houses are closed and shops are demolished. The authorities have built new stores and rent them out to local residents at 200 manats. To buy bread, it's necessary to go 6 to 7 kilometers to other end of the village. Rizegulu Hassan recalled that in late May he decided to go to his village, although he was expelled from there in 1990. He and 12 other people decided to establish a committee to protect the village of Nehram. Action of protest was to take place on May 31st, but before the rally, 2 members of the committee were arrested and sent to the regional center. Rizagul Hassanov went after them, but he also was arrested, taken to Julfa, and sent by bus to Baku. This was my second deportation from my native village, he said. Another villager of Nehram Sahib Seinov, deported from the village in 2005, confirmed all the above mentioned and stated that Vasif Talibov's policy is more aggressive than Gaddafi's policy. Both deported believe that the situation in the village has reached a critical point and it is not possible to establish order in Nakhchivan. A Karabakh war veteran, disabled of the second group, Amirov, received an unjustified notice of the requirement to leave the house in which he was born and grew up, at 24 Fizuli Street, on November 22 last year. On December 22, the whole family was just thrown into the street. After my family was taken to police station 21 of the Nazimir district, my home was destroyed and all the property was looted, Amirov said at a press conference at the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety today. According to Amirov and other speakers, the city officials began demolishing housing in the streets Shamsi Bedalbayli, Mirzaga Aliyev and Dilara Aliyeva. The demolition area is expanding, although the government previously claimed that the demolition would only regard the houses in Fizuli Street. Residents of this area believe that under the guise of constructing the Winter Boulevard, the historical center of the city is captured by the officials. The department head at the State Property Committee, Yusuf Gambarov, and the head of the Secretariat of the City Hall of Baku, Zulfali, offered the residents compensation in the amount of 1,500 Azeri manats per 1 square meters or an apartment. So, if the squaring is small and not tantamount to an apartment in a new building, then people are given the money. If the effective area is 70 square meters, the people are offered an apartment of 105 square meters in a new building outside the center. The apartments are built by joint stock company Azinco, belonging to the leadership of the State Property Committee. Recall that last year a similar drama has been happening in Fizuli Street, where thousands of families were evicted in the same way. Their numerous protests and lawsuits against the executives were not satisfied.